Welcome to Plot Twist, your place for quick summaries of movies with jaw-dropping twists. Let's dive in. At the beginning of our movie, we see a gang smuggling drugs in a strange and frightening way, almost like a fantasy. They hide the drugs inside human bodies to smuggle them across China's borders. Many locals suffered because of this, so the Chinese army decided to send special forces to solve the problem before it escalated. People began to say that the authorities could no longer control the country or protect its citizens. While the gang was carrying out their operation, the army dispatched a team of special forces who raided the location without the gang noticing. This team was highly skilled and experienced in dealing with criminals, and among them was the deadly sniper, Long Feng, who had the ability to target an enemy regardless of the distance or obstacles between them. He carefully eliminated all the gang members without alerting their leader. The group leader monitored everything and ordered the team to storm the location. However, as soon as they entered the building, they were caught off guard by a bomb that exploded. The gang leader threw grenades at them from the window, killing many of them. However, the soldiers managed to regain control of the situation and told the gang leader that the place was surrounded and that he should surrender without any resistance. At that moment, the gang leader came out with a cold heart, holding one of the soldiers hostage and killed him. He demanded a vehicle to take him to a location of his choice or threatened to show them his true face. The officers monitoring the situation advised the team to retreat because the structure he was hiding behind was too solid for bullets to penetrate. The gang leader warned them not to waste time negotiating with him and killed a few more soldiers to prove he wasn't joking. Long, observing the situation, was unhappy with what was happening. He decided to disobey orders to avenge his fallen comrades and save those who were still alive. He positioned himself on a building roof at a distance and aimed at a specific point on the wall. Using all his shooting skills, knowing the concrete was very strong, he fired at the wall. The gang leader warned them not to shoot again or he would blow up the place. Despite being ordered by the team leader not to shoot, Long removed his earpiece, determined to avenge his comrades. With a few precise shots, he managed to penetrate the wall and kill the gang leader. Later, we see Long standing before the leaders in court. They asked him why he disobeyed orders not to fire, and he explained that he did so to save his comrades from death. One of the judges asked him what success rate he had expected, and he replied that it was about 50%. Surprised, she asked about the other 50%, to which he responded that he never considers failure as an option in any mission. He emphasized that the mission was successful. Despite his convincing argument, the court decided to imprison him for disobeying orders, as such actions were unacceptable. The events then shift to a police raid, capturing the most dangerous mafia leader involved in arms and drug trafficking. Strangely, he surrendered without resistance. However, as soon as the police left the scene, they were ambushed by gunfire from all directions. The mafia leader stood amidst the chaos like a lion in the jungle, lighting his cigar. It was revealed that he had a highly equipped army of mercenaries who eliminated all the police officers on the scene and rescued their leader. The story then transitions to Dong, the gang leader, attending his brother's funeral. It turns out that Dong's brother was the same gang leader Long had killed with his sniper rifle at the border. After the funeral, Dong instructed his personal assistant, known as the Pole, a merciless figure renowned among gangs for never failing a mission. Dong tasked him with avenging his brother's death, promising him an enormous reward if he succeeded. However, he warned that this mission wouldn't be like any other, as the Chinese officer who killed his brother was highly trained. Confident in his abilities, the Pole declared that this would be the easiest mission he'd ever undertaken. He vowed to show the Chinese army what they were dealing with. Meanwhile, Long was in prison undergoing training. The commander who had faced him in court visited him. Long saluted her, and she informed him that opinions were divided about his future. Some believed he should be expelled from the army, while others thought he deserved a promotion for successfully completing the mission. She asked for his opinion, and he replied with a 50% chance of not being expelled. When asked about the other 50%, he confidently stated that nothing else could happen because he was sure of what he had done. She then asked if he had heard of the Wolf Warriors unit, component placement, to which he replied that he had, describing it as the elite of the special forces, always ready and equipped with the best weapons. The commander placed a bottle of alcohol in front of him and ordered him to drink it. Long refused, explaining that drinking alcohol was prohibited in the army. When she insisted, he asked who she really was. She introduced herself as Lu Ji, the current commander of the Wolf Warriors unit. He quickly grabbed the bottle and drank from it. She then asked about his life before joining the army and the reason he enlisted. During their conversation, Long revealed that his father was also in the army and was killed in the line of duty when Long was about 12 years old. As they talked, Long fell asleep. Commander Lu Ji left him his uniform and a note stating that he had been promoted to the Wolf Warriors unit. Long was flown to the unit's base near the Chinese border by helicopter. After spending some time there, he was surprised to see numerous tanks and armored vehicles of the highest caliber approaching, and he knew that the state of the Wolf Battalion was coming to take him. He stood in front of the tank's cannon like a lion, unshaken. The battalion commander approached and welcomed him. They explained that one wolf could not defeat a lion or a tiger, but a pack of wolves could not be stopped. They were told that their battalion was unlike any other, with extremely tough and rigorous training, and very few completed it. He said, "I've decided to become one of you, and I'm ready for any circumstances I may face." The commander tested him, saying, "Let's assume you're in the heat of battle, and the enemy is about to kill you. What would your last words be?" He replied, "We're in a very remote area. If a stranger sets foot here, we'll know. Even if they infiltrate unnoticed, dig trenches, and manage to bring in armored vehicles and tanks, rest assured there's a traitor among your men." The commander said, "You didn't answer my question." He responded, "Sir, I don't even consider a 1% chance of failure." The commander was impressed by his words, and the battalion welcomed Long, taking him to their camp. Later, we see them on a plane for training as if in a real battle. The exercise was to storm a gang's headquarters, with part of the army playing the role of the gang. Their mission was to capture the gang with precision and minimal losses. The location was an isolated forest. All the soldiers jumped out of the plane, ready for anything they might face. The commanders and leaders monitored the mission's events via wireless devices and cameras from the army headquarters. The Wolf Battalion treated the training as a real mission, even though their weapons weren't real. They located the gang's headquarters, stormed it, and killed a large portion of the gang. The soldiers dispersed into different areas, and Long, along with 3 soldiers, went to another location. Long spotted the gang leader, who turned out to be the battalion leader in disguise. Long managed to capture him, successfully completing the mission with great skill. The commanders were pleased with Long and the soldiers with him. Afterwards, they were celebrating their victory when 2 people rushed in, terrified. Long learned from them that ferocious wolves were attacking. Long and his team were shocked by the number of wild wolves in the area. The commanders observed the situation and were worried for their soldiers, as they only had fake weapons. The soldiers gathered and attached knives to their weapons. The wolves attacked ferociously, but Long and his team fought back with strength and courage. Long noticed the wolves' leader, attacked, and killed it. The rest of the wolves fled in fear. The commanders rejoiced at how professionally Long handled the situation. We then see a character, the cat, with his men, saying, "We found our target, and tomorrow morning, we'll move." The next day, Long and his team were still in the forest, as their mission continued. Long followed and protected them, monitoring the path with a sniper rifle. Suddenly, a real bomb was thrown at them, killing a large number of soldiers. Long saw gunfire directed at them and was shocked, realizing it was real ammunition. He didn't understand how this was happening. The sniper with the cat tried to kill anyone who raised their head. Long tried to move away from the area, but the cat appeared and fired at them. One soldier attempted to throw a tear gas grenade, but the cat was faster, killing 3 soldiers. The commanders watched in shock. The leader said foreign forces had crossed the border and ordered reinforcements and real weapons to be sent. Long targeted the cat, but the cat was very skilled and escaped, shooting back at Long. Long quickly disappeared. When the sniper saw reinforcements arriving, he took the cat and fled. Long discovered his friend, who had always shared his meals, had been killed. He also found a photo of his friend's daughter, which he had carried in his plane. Furious, Long vowed to avenge his friend. Meanwhile, the cat and his men discussed their progress, with one saying they had completed half the mission and the rest would be easy. The cat warned not to underestimate their opponents, reminding them they had fought without real weapons. The Chinese army located them and saw planes overhead. They warned them to surrender, saying, "You've made the biggest mistake of your lives by crossing the border." When they refused, one of their vehicles was blown up. The second vehicle, carrying the cat, was also destroyed, but he managed to escape. The commanders gathered and identified the intruders as mercenaries. The leader stated the battle had turned into a real war and assigned the commanders to oversee parts of the mission. A commander revealed through an intercepted call that the mercenaries were led by an influential figure named Man Dong, a notorious international broker. He was the brother of a gang leader killed near the Chinese border and had crossed the border to avenge his brother's death. His bodyguard, the cat, was a former enemy who had fought in the Gulf and Afghanistan wars. Now retired, he worked with the organization assembling mercenaries from various countries. He was the highest paid operative in any mission he undertook and had never failed. The Wolf Battalion remained in the forest awaiting new orders. They saw planes dropping bags containing weapons and all the tools needed for war. The commander spoke to them over the wireless, saying, "This is a challenge to us. Entering our land is a direct insult. In 6 hours, the soldiers will cross the border and escape from China." They entered the forest and divided themselves into 3 groups, spreading out like rats in the forest. At that time, the cat was in the forest with the sniper accompanying him, giving orders to his men from a distance. One of his men fired at them to scatter and separate them so they could be eliminated easily. The mercenaries' men were surprised by a bomb exploding in the water. Additionally, Long's battalion encountered another bomb that exploded, but no one was injured. Here, the cat instructed the sniper to take out as many as possible from a distance. Indeed, every time the soldiers approached, the sniper picked them off one by one. The sniper spared the direct commander of the battalion, leaving him in agony as he reached for his weapon to try and kill himself to escape the terrible pain. However, the sniper shot his hand, preventing him from grabbing the weapon, leaving him to suffer. One of the soldiers attempted to approach, but was immediately killed. The commander told them, "I told you not to approach." Long was in a new dilemma, unsure of what to do. The commander removed his helmet and asked Long to kill him and end his suffering. The leaders, watching the situation through cameras, were deeply affected. Long pointed his weapon at him and fired, but he aimed at the tree in front of the commander, causing it to fall. All the soldiers helped him by firing at the tree, making it collapse. Long managed to save his commander, who then told him, "Who told you to disobey my orders?" Long replied, "If I survive, punish me and imprison me." Afterward, everyone dispersed to hunt down the sniper. Long calculated every step, knowing that each shot came every 3 seconds. Using his expertise, he approached the sniper, attacked him, and killed him brutally. At that moment, the cat also shot Long, injuring him. Long threw himself to the ground to save himself. The soldiers regained control and eliminated the gang accompanying the cat. One of them wrestled with Long, but Long set a trap and killed him. This left no one else for Long to confront. At this point, the leaders identified Dong, the gang leader, through an image. Only, they discovered that he owned a pharmaceutical company. One of the leaders informed the higher commander that one of the largest centers had been breached and a significant number of blood samples had been stolen. At that time, many people had volunteered to donate blood. The perpetrators managed to obtain genetic data from several viruses. They realized that if all this data reached them, China would face a catastrophe. They intended to create a virus that would cause the deaths of many Chinese people. It wasn't just about deaths. The rates of deformities and disabilities in newborns would increase significantly. At that time, Long was chasing the cat, but was surprised by mines and bombs everywhere. Long successfully navigated through all the mines, but suddenly realized he had stepped on one. The commanders watching the situation were extremely worried about Long, as he was the only one left from the battalion. The female commander was particularly concerned about him, encouraging him and saying, "You've got this, hero," as she admired his courage and bravery. She advised him to be cautious in dealing with the mine, as it required a specialist. She jokingly added, "If you complete the mission successfully, you owe me a drink." Long tried to dig around the mine as carefully as possible, preparing himself before jumping over it. Luigi, the female commander, panicked when she called out to him over the radio, but he didn't respond. Her nerves were on edge as she kept calling for him. Finally, he responded, saying he was fine. He then asked her if she had a boyfriend, which flustered her, and she admitted she didn't. The commanders all laughed at the situation. Afterward, Long got up and resumed chasing the cat to catch him before he escaped across the border. Long found him, and they exchanged gunfire until they ran out of bullets. They resorted to using their pistols, but those ran out of bullets too. At that moment, the cat panicked and tried to flee, but Long attacked him with ferocity. The two engaged in a fierce knife fight. The cat admitted, "You might not be the strongest soldier I've seen, but I'll admit you're the smartest soldier I've ever encountered." The cat stabbed Long in the stomach with the knife, saying, "You call yourselves the Red Mercenaries on the border, but you're just a bunch of scouts." Long replied, "You should think 1,000 times before crossing the borders of China again." He stabbed the cat in the leg, but the cat kicked him in the head, causing them both to fall to the ground simultaneously. The cat got up again and mocked Long, calling him foolish for being willing to die for his country. He said, "I can't understand how they convinced you to sacrifice your life for some empty slogans. The only thing worth killing or dying for is money." Long looked at him in disbelief, astonished by his lack of conscience. The cat held a knife to Long's neck, preparing to kill him. He ripped the Chinese flag patch from Long's shoulder. However, when Long saw his country's flag, his eyes turned red, and he transformed into a beast. He grabbed the knife, turned it around, and stabbed the cat in the neck, killing him. Long retrieved the Chinese flag and placed it back on his shoulder. 3 soldiers arrived to rescue Long, but they discovered a tattoo on one of their arms, revealing him to be one of the mercenaries. Long killed him before he could attack and took his weapon, eliminating the rest. The gang leader was still alive, and Long, out of ammunition, ran toward him and pinned him down with the empty weapon. Long was shocked to see an army of mercenaries approaching him. Despite his empty weapon, Long stood bravely, unafraid of death. At that moment, reinforcements from the army arrived to support Long. The mercenaries panicked and retreated from the site. The gang leader, in all his arrogance, lit a cigar before being arrested. The army's top commander and Luigi arrived, saluting Long and expressing their pride in him for successfully completing the mission despite all the challenges he faced. Long didn't give up and outsmarted his enemies. Later, Luigi took him out for a drink as promised, and that's how our movie ends. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to get more new videos. See you next time.